previous games, as there is no real healer class, although the humans and Sylvans do get a racial ability for heals. But that aside, you have to survive on your own. You have to be able to not take these hits and live as long as you can. And dodging will definitely be, I think, the biggest part of that, more than likely. You won't just be absorbing damage. You're going to be trying to dodge all these special attacks. It'll be a very interesting strategy. I can see the bosses being very intense, where you're always doing something, always watching for some attack that's going to come up.
Yeah. So I think if anybody comes from their typical WoW, Rift, or even from SWTOR to play this game, and they think they're going to implement their full-on raiding experience, I think it'll help them, but they're going to have to adapt quite a bit, I'd say, during this game. So anything else you want to say on that last video we watched there?
I would really like to play.
Release a demo. Let's contact Arena and ask them if they can release a demo for the world to play the first two levels of Char. That's all we want. We just want to experience the first epic battle that we can get in. While I'm watching here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, the Asura race, and the customization on it is ridiculous. I mean, it's going to be exciting. The character customization, the dynamic events, the movement system, I mean, the personal story. This is something that a lot of games have been focusing on, different aspects. In Guild Wars 2 ArenaNet, they said, yeah, screw you all focusing on one, we're going to do them all. So I think it's awesome. I've heard some comments. We couldn't hear it too well in there because of the background sound going on at Gamescom. But what do you think about the voice acting in Guild Wars 2? Do you think it's going to be top-of-the-line quality voice acting, or do you think we might find some laughable moments at the way the voice actors speak?
Well, speaking from my experience with most games, there's always going to be probably a couple characters that you just cannot help from laughing from listening at. But the ones that I've heard that they've released, I'm sure those are their best. But it sounds to be very high quality, not something very laughable. It definitely keeps you in the game, in the quest, basically would be dynamic events. I'll just call it quests and dynamic events. I'll use it as the same thing. But in these quests, you have this whole cinematic type dialogue almost, where you're facing each other and you get a rundown of what's going to happen. You can participate or you can't. But for me, I think everything sounds great so far. Although honestly, I wouldn't even mind if there were some characters that sound a little goofy. It does happen, but I'm sure any changes that need to be made will be made right away as the game releases.
Yeah, and I agree. It's gonna be one heck of a game when it comes to this. And I'm getting my hopes up here. I usually haven't been doing that for any games recently, so ArenaNet, don't let me down, please. All right, I do want to say, everyone who's watching tonight, thank you. And first things first, most of these videos have been provided by watchtower.de, I believe it was, or was it Wartower?
Wartower sounds familiar.
Wartower, maybe it was. They did the recording, is not our recordings, so don't go thinking we actually went to Gamescom and did these recordings. I do not have the money to get there. But I am happy that they got it. They got some great footage with the commentary is what I wanted. Some people don't have the commentary. I love the fact that there was an ArenaNet employee there providing us commentary for that. One final question to bring to you. Our show name is Shattered Trinity. Obviously, making at the idea, the fact that the Trinity in Guild Wars 2 does not exist in normal means. I mean, you can still heal, you can still tank some, you can still fight some, but you can do it all. So, are you excited about the lack of Trinity, about the Trinity being shattered in the game? Do you think they could leave it in there some, or what are your just thoughts overall on this new concept of removing this Trinity?
Is that a question towards me?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Yes, it definitely is something that changes everything because in other games you have the whole, you're going to be tanking, you're going to be aggroing this mob the whole time, I'm going to be healing, and I'm going to do as much DPS as I can without pissing off the boss that you're fighting. But in this game, all you have is classes. You have people banding together with different abilities and their own skill sets that they can bring. They can protect each other and support each other, but no one is going to be defined to doing any role. One person goes down, you have to try to rush up to them, try to protect them as much as you can, help your other teammates using the abilities provided. You have to have like a well-balanced group, but not as much where, there's no healer online, so now you're screwed and you can't do your raid or whatever people will call it in this game. You just find another replacement person, and it can be pretty much any class.
Yeah, it definitely excites me. I think it's gonna be great. We won't have these DPS add-ons that they have for WoW and stuff now. You're not dishing out enough DPS. Well, it's not. It's gonna be different in Guild Wars. It's gonna be kind of hard in Guild Wars 2. It's gonna be hard for them to say that you're not dealing enough of this or healing enough because you don't have a focused role, which is good, and you can finally play with your friends. You don't have to go, all right, I'm going to play a tank character for my first one. I'm going to play a fighter character for the first one. And then the last friend who happened to log on that day because they had to work and couldn't join the game right at the start, you look at them and go, if you want to play with us, you're playing a healer. I mean, you don't get stuck with something you don't want to play. You play what you want to play, and you get to participate in anything that you want to. And they said, and it's been talked about some other casts I've listened to. I know Ruby from Guildcast was talking about it, and they had one episode where they were discussing about a fight, and they tried going about it in the normal means, didn't work for them. They tried multiple ways, wasn't working for them, and the idea that so much that people are going to try to find here's the easiest way to do it, but that's only if you have that class set up maybe. So there's going to be so many ways to defeat the boss, defeat the dungeons that they are going to have, how to participate in PvP with your class combinations. I'm going to find that this game might actually be very hard for a min-maxer to find a formula. They're going to attempt at it. They're going to come up with guides and create them, but the situation is going to change every single time depending on who you're playing with. So, it's quite interesting.
It'll definitely be something that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. So, the last final question before we end today's show. Do you consider Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2 free to play or buy to play?
Guild Wars 2 would be buy to play.
Because, yeah.
I mean, it's the same as they seem to be following their traditional path of what they did in Guild Wars 1, where they release an initial game, you buy it. It's as if you buy any other game, and then you play it. They keep their servers up, and they keep releasing expansions and new content, which is good because other games, they can release patches gradually, but if they want to keep making money, I guess I'm going to say it this way, they have to keep releasing that new content, and hopefully they'll be able to balance it really well and make every single expansion just as good as the one before.
All right, and I agree. People want to argue, say it's free to play, but has a bit different, I'd say. So buy to play, but yes, you will have to buy each thing, which is awesome. So we'll go with that. All right, so I don't have a Twitter. Do you have a Twitter account or anything, YouTube account, anything you want people to follow you on?
Not yet, but in the next upcoming episodes, I might make one and see what happens from there.
Enter the world of social networking, my friend.
Yes.
This will be fun. All right, you can follow me on my Twitter account at jkkennedy26. That's my current Twitter account. I tried to get Twitter to release the person who has JK Kennedy and allow me to have it, but they're being mean and saying that they're not releasing accounts right now. Apparently they used to. They're not doing it anymore. So for now, it's got the 26 on it. I do not know if we are going to create a Twitter account specifically for Shattered Trinity. I tried the names too long already. Aqualis Gaming is an option since that's the kind of where it's going to be uploaded on YouTube. So when this gets put up on YouTube, you can find it at YouTube.com, whatever it is, slash Aqualis Gaming is where it'll be. I'll also post it to my Twitter when it gets put up there, and we cut out the crashes and whatever what happened in the beginning. Um, so there's not much to say here. That's about it.
Well, I would like to say if there's any suggestions or improvements or content that people would like to see in future episodes, please leave us a message or something, because we are trying to improve constantly. So that's something worth leaving on a comment with.
Yeah, leave your comments on the video. If you want to be a troll and say stuff, go ahead. Hit us, take your best shot at us. We obviously already crashed at the very beginning of the show before we even started once. So I am not too worried about what you're going to say. All right, so that we will stop it here.
All right.
That was fun.
Yep. Thanks everyone for joining us.
All right, let's end this.